Hi, I'm Li Peipei, and I worked on Deep Work together with my teammate Darko, and he's going to walk you through the app itself, and I'm going to cover how we build it and how we collaborate and what we learned along the way. So from the start, we used mock test interviews to better understand what is needed from the users. Before writing a single line code, we ran 3 mock test interviews with real users, a PhD student, a software engineer, and a remote professional. And the mock test methodology means you never ask people if they like your idea, you only ask about their past experience. What came back was pretty clear. All 3 users have abandoned existing focus tools for specific reasons. Focus session transition broke their workflow. Menu login feel like guessing, and breaks default to phone use because there were nothing else to do, and none of them could reliably tell a productive day from reactive ones. And then the next step is for PRD and prototype generation. So we took the raw nodes into Cloud Web and used them along with our project proposal to generate our PRD with the core features. Once we had the PRD, we used Cloud Web to generate the initial interactive prototype, a single file React artifact. That gave us something to react to immediately rather than guessing in abstraction. Darko and I reviewed it together, identified what user flow needs to fix, and went back to Cloud Web to refine it and keep it building it. And the prototype evolved in parallel with our actual app development. And for the next part, we moved into anti-gravity and started with project memory and agent rule setup. So when we moved into anti-gravity for actual development, the first thing we did was set up project memory. We loaded the prototype, the mock test nodes, and summary, the PRD, and our technical architecture decisions. Then we wrote our rules file together. The rules file covers project context, tech stack, architecture and coding rules, testing rules, workflow, and Git, design reference, and do's and don'ts. Basically, it covers everything an AI assistant needs to stay consistent with our actual project, not a generic version. Without it, you get generic codes. With this one, with the rules, the AI understands why we are making specific trade-offs. And then lastly, we started our sprint process. And we set up a GitHub repo with project board, backlog, sprint to-dos, in progress, in review, and done. And created 2 milestones to match Sprint 1 and Sprint 2. We broke the PRD into issues. Each has a clear title, acceptance criteria as a checklist, labels, and milestone assignment. The workflow was straightforward. We come together, agree on the schedule for the sprint, and then work asynchronously. Whoever have time will grab an issue, move it to in process, work on it in anti-gravity, and open a PR. When possible, the other person will review before merging. It wasn't always feasible to review every PR given the deadline, but we kept the discipline where we could. We also set up CI/CD early, used MVP as the baseline, and did the multi-stage pipeline. So for this project, we used 2 distinct modalities with different purpose. The Cloud Web, we use it for PRD generation, prototype generation, and for the code generation, we used anti-gravity IDE. A few honest challenge worth naming, maintaining consistency between prototype and the actual implementation implementation took more coordination than expected. Getting to 80% test coverage takes some effort, and working with AI assistant requires different kind of discipline than writing code yourself. If your context isn't sharp, you are getting plausible looking output that doesn't actually fit your architecture. The Roost file helped a lot with that. And in terms of what works well, starting from user research and letting the PRD constraint scope keep us from building things nobody asked for, and the prototype gave us a shared reference point, so Duncan and I were always aligned on what we were building towards. And the GitHub workflow, even with imperfection, meaning we had a record of decisions and process throughout.
Hi, I'm Jiwei Komidako. Thanks for Pepe's introduction, and I will walk you through what we built in this project. So, as Pepe mentioned, our goal is to improve on the traditional Pomodoro clock experience. So the first problem we want to solve in this project is the lack of flexibility in the traditional Pomodoro clock. So everyone works differently, and if you are studying for a final exam, you might prefer longer focus duration. So with deep work, you can set the setting as you want. Let's say you want to set a 2-hour duration for the exam preparation. So this setting will be saved per user. So if you refresh the page, you can also reload the same setting for next time use. So the second problem is the rigid structure of the traditional Pomodoro clock. You are forced to follow a fixed routine with no full ability to pause. So for the deep work, you can have the full flexibility. So if you are in the main session, you want to grab some water, you can pause it and go back and continue the work session. So let's say you have focused for 100 minutes and you have learned enough and you need a break. You can click the break button and directly to start to break. So beyond all this, we also have some cute feature, like when you reach to the end of the focus, we will suggest you some step to take for your break, like step outside instead of playing some video game. So there's another feature, like we want to help you to track where the time has been gone, so you can tag all the tasks you want to do. So there is another example. So in this example, I have tagged several different daily routines I have done, I've been doing. So I will start it. So when I finish it, it will be recorded in the history. So let's take a look at the history. So you can take a look at the history. So for Thursday, I have reading papers for 2 hours and coding for 2 hours, and you can see the details for each day, and this allow you to improve or make some or stick to it. You can also clear off it. So this is the deep work Pomodoro clock we built. It's flexible, it's retrievable, and it's cute to give you some advice. So beyond all this, I want to say I also learned a lot in the process, because many people claim that AI coding agents will replace engineers. But after pushing AI assistant coding hard on this project, I don't think it's true. So humans still need to in the command chair. We have to design modular architecture and carefully break the project into well-scoped sub-tasks. And if the task was too small, we'd spend all day just hitting the enter button. So if they are too large, the agent will lose the context and starting hallucination. So modular thinking and solid software engineering still remain extremely valuable. So thanks to John and Pepe to give me this chance to learn from each other.